Hello everyone, welcome back to Jace Love Strength. In this video we're going to be talking about the 2024 World's Strongest Man Finals, Day 1 action, and there is a lot to go over. This day was full of drama and surprises and all kinds of crazy things, so you're going to want to check this out. A lot of this is pretty unbelievable. We're going to start out by talking about Day 1's Event 1. That's a good place to start, right? And this was the Giants medley. Now, here's what you need to know about this. We're looking right here at the places. Going into this medley, we're talking about a yoke and a frame carry. Everyone just knew that this was Mitchell Hooper's event to lose. It was basically like, okay, Mitch is going to get first place. Who's getting second and how many points? Now, spoiler alert, I actually predicted, I guess not spoiler since it's on the screen already, but I actually predicted before the event began that Mitchell would not win this one and Evan Singleton would pull off the upset. I just had this feeling that Evan Singleton was going to win it, but I thought that Mitchell Hooper would finish second. And I was wondering how much time there would be between the two. But as you look at these, you'll notice that you don't see Mitchell Hooper's name in that second place position. You see Austin Andrade's name in that second position. So let's talk about this because I thought it was going to be Mitchell Hooper, or I thought it was going to be Evan Singleton, and then Mitchell Hooper, and then Tom Stoltman. It looks like I got Evan Singleton and Tom Stoltman right for first and third, but I was way wrong for second. So you can see that Evan Singleton took max points for 10. Austin Andrade outperforming everyone's expectations and getting a second place finish here at 9 points. Tom Stoltman with 8 for third, as I figured he would. Wesley Derwinski, the Canadian, with 7 points for fourth place. Another Canadian in fifth place. Tristan Hotho, sixth place, yet another Canadian. Finally, we get to Mitchell Hooper. So I want you to look at this. Not only did Mitchell Hooper not win the event, but he didn't even have the best finish in the medley for the nation of Canada. Not only did he not have the best finish in the nation of Canada in the medley, he didn't even have the second best finish in the nation of Canada. He finished third out of 3 Canadians in the Giants medley, only able to finish 34.59 meters of the course. He didn't even finish the course. More drama to come from that, which will come back in a minute after I give you the rest of the results. Another person that I expected to do well throughout the final and even had on my podium, I thought he'd probably finish like third, maybe fourth. I really wasn't sure how to feel about Evan Singleton and Matthew Ragg, third or fourth place. But Matthew Ragg only getting a 7th place finish here for 4 points. Luke Stoltman, 8. Ivor Smokstelis, 9 for 2 points. And Pavlo Kordiaka, the dead end, only grabbing a single point. Now, let's go back and talk a little bit more about this Mitchell Hooper drama. So, in addition to performing really poorly, we figured out why he performed poorly, and there was more drama outside of that. There was discussions about whether he started over the line, whether he finished over the line, whether they're going to discontinue his entire run. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And then, so in the yoke, which Mitchell Hooper just wins yokes, he just does, right? Except he didn't. Sounds like he dropped it before he crossed the line and then had to maybe pick it up, scoot it a little bit further again. Then he gets on to the frame carry. And even though he didn't do a totally smooth performance on the yoke, he was still blazing fast and had himself in a good position, even with the little bobble. But he wasn't done bobbling. Because I guess he grabbed the frame carry wrong. Probably wasn't centered. That's my guess. I wasn't there to see it. But it sounds like he probably grabbed it wrong, probably off center. That causes it to move in your hands. It also causes it to be hold. This rips open his calluses. He puts the frame down. He tries to pick it up, moves again, tries to pick it. He has to pick this frame up 3 or 4 times and is unable to complete the course. When he's done, his hands are a bloody mess and they're all blistered up. And people are like, oh man, is our reigning 2023 World's Strongest Man champion done for? Is he out of it? Evan Singleton's looking really good right now, having just put up this 30-second win, right? Except Evan Singleton's run wasn't without its own drama. Evan Singleton, who has been calm, cool, and collected all through the World's Strongest Man so far, and has not been his own stumbling block, has not been in his own way. he's actually acted sensibly and intelligently and approached things in a cerebral fashion that you step back and go, good job, Evan. Good job. He's not his own biggest enemy. And then what you notice, Evan Singleton does a very Evan Singleton thing. And what I mean by that is he smokes the field, but then he slams the frame carry down and bashes his leg with it and hollers out in pain. And people think it's like a major injury. Now people are wondering if Evan Singleton, who just finished first in this thing, is even going to be able to go on and compete. Spoiler alert, he does go on to compete. But it wasn't without some drama, and he did have to be worked over by the medical staff and things of that nature. But when the first event came to a finish, it was Evan Singleton's name at the top of the leaderboard, not Mitchell Hooper. And Mitchell Hooper was way back in 6th place after an event that he was expected to finish first in, second at worst, which is what I actually figured. So not without drama right off the bat. And now you're thinking, even if Mitchell Hooper and Evan Singleton don't have to withdraw, they're probably going to be compromised, right? You don't want to be battling a leg injury, and you don't want busted hands, shredded hands going into the World's Strongest Man final. Mitchell's done for. It's not just the 6th place finish, it's the 6th place finish and the hands. Gotta hurt. So we go to event 2. And event 2 was the max axle press. Now, leading up to the World's Strongest Man, Mitchell Hooper has been dropping subtle hints, hey, I'm coming to break the world record. And he gave it a good show, which going into the event, I thought, no chance. I thought with those shredded hands, I thought if he gets it to the shoulder, who knows? You don't really need your hands that much to go above your head. But an axle is so big. To hold on to it really is going to affect your grip and all kinds of things trying to hold that to get it up to this area before you finish the clean up to the chest. And so I thought he was going to struggle with that. He comes out with the opening weight of 170, which a couple of the guys couldn't even manage 170, and he does that. And he does it comfortably enough that he decides he's going to take a pass at the next weight and goes on and on and on. In the end, he does not break the world record. The world record is 217 kgs, but Mitchell Hooper does get himself a share of first place. So him and Tom Stoltman split the victory at 9.5 points apiece at 210 kilograms. Based on how quickly the results came in, I'm kind of sort of led to believe that maybe Tom didn't even try. I don't know that for sure. Maybe he tried and failed, but it seemed like the results came for him really quickly, or maybe the results for Mitchell Hooper came really slow. But either way, you can make an argument that Tom was like, I don't need to do this. You didn't gain any ground on me. I've got the victory. Let's just go. So, but they share first for 9.5. Pavlo Kordiaka, who just finished last place in the last event, he puts up the second best mark here after those two at 200 kilograms, the only other competitor to do 200 plus. That gives him 8 points. You had 3 competitors manage 190, but no more than that, and those were Evan Singleton, Austin Andrade, so 2 guys who were already doing great after the first event. In fact, they're your first and second place finishers. They managed to get 6 points here, and Luke Stoltman manages 6 as well. Tristan Hoth of Canada, 180 kilograms. Matthew Ragg, 170 kilograms, just the opening weight. That's what they opened. It was a big opener, 170 to open. Of which neither Ivars nor Wesley Derwinski managed to get the opening lift. They both had to settle for 0 points. So this was going to shake up those standings a lot when you can see different names at the top of the leaderboard, with the exception of Tom Stoltman. But you don't see the same names up there. This was going to take us to the third event. And the third event was the Keg Toss. Now, before the day began, the world record in the Keg Toss, a 15-kilogram keg, for height, was held by none other than Brian Shaw. And Brian Shaw had thrown a 15-kilogram keg over a bar at 7.75 meters. If you look at this chart, just over here to my right here, what you're going to see is that, I guess your left, my right. Anyway, if you look at that, what you're going to see is that Brian Shaw is no longer the world record holder at the 15-kilogram keg for height. He has company, but not 1, not 2, but 3 competitors managed to break Brian Shaw's record in this event. Tom Stoltman, Mitchell Hooper, and Wes Derwinski all tie at 7.76 meters, all failing to go on to own the record by themselves. but that means they split the points up 10, 9, and 8, averaged out. They get 9 apiece. After that, the next highest finisher was Evan Singleton, continuing his great run in the World's Strongest Man. That gives him 7 points. Now, this 9 points and 7 points for Hooper and Evan Singleton is very important, and we're going to get to why that's important in a minute. Evan did great, but he could have been a little greater. Matthew Ragg and Ivar Schmuckstellis will take 5.5 points apiece. Austin Andrade and Luke Stoltman will take 3.5 points apiece. Falling back is the first performance that Austin Andrade really struggles in here. Tristan Hoth with only 2 points, and Pavlo Kordiaka has to scratch. He's not able to do it all. Sounds like Pavlo might have a bit of an injury. But now what happened is we need to look at this board. We need to look at this leaderboard. Because Group 1, or the first event, left us, the Giants Medley left us going, oh my gosh, what's going on? And told us all we were wrong about everything, and nothing was going to go right in this world, right? Nothing was as we expected. And then events 2 and 3 shape up the way they did. And in the end, we're left with an overall leaderboard that's a little bit different than we expected. It doesn't have Mitchell Hooper in the lead, but he's not far off. He's now trailing Tom Stoltman by 3 points, which is what he was trailing him by after the second event, but they both pulled away from everybody else. In fact, Hooper's advancement over Evan, while breaking that keg toss record, makes Evan fall from second to third, 23 points. That's a half a point behind Mitchell Hooper. And that's what I meant by that 9 and 7 being very important. By gaining 2 points, that allowed Mitchell Hooper to climb a half a point above Evan Singleton. So as of right now, if the event was ending today, your winner would be Tom Stoltman. Silver would go to Mitchell Hooper, and Evan Singleton would get his first podium at the World's Strongest Man. You'd have the World's Strongest Latino, Austin Andrade, at fourth, because he's got 18.5 points. Canadian Wesley Derwinski picks up major points after breaking the keg toss world record, putting him at 16 points for a 5th place finish. Matthew Ragg's down in 6th, tied with Luke Stoltman at 12.5. Then you've got Tristan Hoth at 12, Pavlo Kordiaka at 9, and Ivars is on the bottom with 7.5 points. We have 3 events left. They're coming to you tomorrow. And the neat thing about tomorrow is that when we look at the events, I pull up the schedule right here in front of me, which you guys can't see. We've got the Conan's Wheel. We've got the Goodrich Tire Deadlift. That's a deadlift for reps. It's not a max deadlift. And then we finally end it with the Atlas Stones, as you guys know. So that's what we have tomorrow. Conan's Wheel, Tire Deadlift, Atlas Stones. Here's where it gets exciting. Let's go back and take a look at this leaderboard again. So when we look at this leaderboard, we see at the top, we have Tom Stoltman on top, and we have Mitchell Hooper behind him. Well, Tom's great at everything tomorrow, with one exception. That one exception, he hasn't looked too good at things like Conan's Wheels in the past. Now, he's often gone first by the events that he's not doing well in the events that preceded it, so he didn't have a really good take to see exactly what was necessary. And that may come to place. He's in the driver's seat tomorrow. He's going to get to know what everyone has done when he gets up there. But the one event tomorrow that Tom is weak in is that Conan's Wheel. Mitchell Hooper is pretty darn good in that. Pretty darn good, to say the least. So Mitchell Hooper can make up some ground in Tom Stoltman in that first event, and he probably needs to. The question is, will he make up enough? Because after that, we've got the tire deadlift for reps. Mitchell Hooper's going to do great, but Tom Stoltman's going to do great too. And then we go into the Atlas Stones, and we don't even need to talk about the Atlas Stones. We know how good Tom is there. So before the week kicked off, I said your 2024 World's Strongest Man would be the reigning defending 2023 champion, Mitchell Hooper. He was going back to back. And then it was probably going to be Tom Stoltman in second, and then more than likely Matthew Ragg in third, with Evan Singleton just missing out in 4th place. If I'm a betting man now, my predictions have changed. If I'm betting on it now, I'm leaning towards Tom Stoltman, Mitchell Hooper, and Evan Singleton to finish this thing off in the exact order they are in now. 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm predicting. However, Evan's only a half a point behind Mitchell Hooper. He could make that up. And Mitchell is only 3 points behind, and he's probably going to gain ground in that first event tomorrow. What I'm really telling you guys is that your podium is more than likely set, barring any kind of tragedy, accidents, or major mishaps, which could happen. Our first event of the day told us that. But more than likely, your podium is Stoltman, Hooper, Singleton. The question is, what order will they come in? I invite you to come to our live stream tomorrow and check it out and wait around to find out with me. See you guys.